Are the big stompy robots and stinky boys doing you bad in the Warhammer 40K world? Well, this is what we're here for. Onslaught Gaming 40K. Give us a little bit and we'll break it all down to you. Why the stompy robots and the stinky boys just need to go. Stay tuned and locked in. What's going on, my brother? What's going on, world? How's everyone doing?
I wasn't on here behind the scenes for 10 minutes until they just wait getting ready in the last 30 seconds. It's fine. I'm a professional at this.
It's all right. Tag I have is it's still Tuesday, right? So I know exactly what's going on.
It's my day off this week. I hope it is.
Yeah, so it's nice. Yeah.
I had a chiropractor appointment today, and he did my neck, and I swear to God, man, it was like 13 glow sticks at once.
Onslaught Gaming 40K, where we have chiropractor talk.
Well, it's like...
How you been?
I'm great now.
So it sounds like you got a little more limber today, then.
Oh, yeah. I swear to God, this guy. This is why you can't have your roommate support you in your social media.
Nah, you can't.
They be telling people. I walk around in a sports bra all day, and he's like, now he puts a shirt on.
Now he wants to call you out.
Exactly. It's okay. He doesn't know. Me and him got a game coming up, and it's kind of like, I go easy on him less and less for every comment he has. It's a tug of war.
It's one of those things you got to figure out, right? If you're going to go all the way in or just leave alone.
Right now, he's getting tabled about turn 4. We'll see how that turns out. Nah, like I said, it's my day off, and I, just kind of relaxed, got some personal stuff done, handled some personal matters, and I'm glad to be here. I always look forward to this, especially after this last 2 weeks of data we got. Oh boy, am I ready to have some of my opinions validated.
Tell me about it, brother. All the things in the world, mostly stompy robots and Death Guard just taking over the meta for people who are living under a rock in the world of Warhammer 40K. They have been just destroying it lately. So you got some numbers for us, brother? I know you've been looking into it a little bit. I know that Death Guard is about 62% or 66% win rate over the weekend.
I know that one number that I found out that I really wanted to point out, and this is for me, it's from 40K Stat or Meta Monday. I'm sorry, he comes out with all the stats for the weekend. I like him and his work very much. He's very thorough. Over on Reddit and his own website. But the Chaos Knights have a really good representation, like not just 1 to 6 players, like double digits, and every detachment is above 40%. And most of the detachments that are being played are like above or around 50%. So Chaos Knights are sitting very pretty. Lords of Dread, which was my favorite upon seeing the Codex, previews, is the winning one with, I believe, something like 57-61%.
It's definitely the most used. I know they have some of the best enhancements as well in that particular detachment. And go ahead. Before I get into my second tweet.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't think we ever talked about it. Oh, they have 6 enhancements, and that's the first attachment in 10th edition.
It is, and they're all amazing. All amazing. They have things like Fight First. They have one that's like a 2-up save and 2-up save, not a CP, but it's something else. Multiple abilities. Instead of just guessing.
The CP reroll, as well as Lord of a Seed Aura on a Knight chassis. So,
yeah, Lords of Dread, right?
look, anime. Hold on. I'm gonna put this up here so everyone can see it because this is a good point. While they were nerfed with the points, they needed to be. They were like 5 to 15 each, and that was just not okay. A CP reroll is worth more than 5 points, and Lord of Dread with it is just insane. That someone just forgot to put a 1 and 2 in front of some of those numbers when they printed the codex. That's all that happened. But no, and then as for Imperial Knights, that is, they are doing some work with. I am blessed to have many Knight friends, Knight dedicated army players, as well as those who have it as a hobby army or a secondary, tertiary army to play. And I can tell you, as soon as the Knights points dropped, I messaged every Knight player I know, and I'm like, I don't want to hear a word about your toughness. You can take 12 armigers and Canists. And I will not hear that that's a bad list. And I'm glad to see that the data is backing me because, it is not a bad list.
Yeah, those enhancements are pretty pricey too. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
I agree, Will. I think that it and the Warhound are probably the two easiest to pick up, so to speak. Although everyone's basically been playing Warhound for the past 2.5 years, so I'm not surprised people have kind of gotten away. Not that it's bad. It's very, very good. But I'm not surprised people have put down 14 War Dogs for a few months to try the other stuff. Anyways, go ahead on your spiel.
So, Stompies being the dominant faction right now in the meta has made me transition to kind of adjust to the meta, right? And just to kind of break down to people how I kind of list build when I'm looking at things, I look at every single category in the game, right? I look at what's in the meta right now really doing well, performing very well. If it's heavy in infantry, then weapons, war gears, more sweep type of attacks get added into my list usually, right? Now that it's the opposite, it's more mechanized right now. So it's more knights, it's more monsters. Monsters like Death Guard, where you have Mortarion, DPs, things like that. Obviously, the big Stompy boys are reigning and doing very well right now. So usually when I'm building these army lists, I try to tech into that particular meta, and sometimes it just doesn't work out for you. So because there's a lot of Chaos Knights and monsters going out throughout the weekend, because I play World Eaters, I've added Angron back into my list. Now, I know people, this is contentious, right? And people are like, oh man, you're crazy. You're actually taking this model into your list. The thing being, you have to make adjustments, right? And it's not always clear that you should do something like this, but the particular player that I am, I like to make adjustments, and I take units that are fit for the job. What do I mean by that? If I have Angron, he's going to have a better possibility, better statistics, better probability of destroying a Lancer, a Demon, with all of his abilities, his high strength, his death wounds, and punch down rather than anything else in your army having to punch up. So a Demon Prince maybe being only strength 5 and you're fighting things in the meta, they're toughness 11. You don't want to basically add on to units like that unless they have a lot of attacks and you have a lot of attrition. So the way that I've been building onto my list with the World Eaters is bringing Angron to adjust for all of those situations, the current situations that we have around meta. So it's been performing. I played one game. I had an RTT over the weekend. Shout out to the individuals that I played with. A wonderful event as well. And it was just great to play with my World Eaters. But it went exactly what I thought it would. I did well against how I've constructed my list and things that were more infantry based, more bodies that I really can't deal with the lack of less units. It ended up really hurting me in that game. but every other game I did very well. So you got to pick and choose when you're, building your list and what you're doing when you're dealing with your army building. So hopefully that makes some sense to everyone. But yeah, that was my weekend.
Everyone's going to attack with these heavy bodies, these fetid bloat drones and Mortarians and demon princes and all kinds of stuff. And, the 120 orc boys list out of nowhere is just going to win some super major.
Yep.
Because it's like everyone's bringing your Angrons and your 15 fire dragons and your 13 dark lances.
Well, nobody's bringing Angron. That's the thing. Nobody's bringing that. So I might be a little bit off in the meta where I'm just trying to tech into it. I know that's not the right answer. We'll see in time. But I mean, I might be better off just doing 20 berserkers in a DP, right, instead of an Angron. I don't know.
Hey, there is something to be said for presenting people the problems they didn't think they had to solve.
Yep.
I've done it. I've taken units and even like enhancements and used them in ways that people. The current list I was running with Vanguard Invader, I had the if you arrive from reserves from anywhere, you take a battle shock test. People are like, well, that's kind of swingy, and then they're doing it and they're like, huh, I'm not holding my home now. I'm not eligible for behind enemy lines. I'm not eligible. Like I just didn't get. And it was like, cool. Like it's free for me. It was 15 points I put in before I even submitted my list, and
yeah.
Even small. So I can only imagine with something like Angron. It's like, yep. Like I would bring when I played Necrons, the Nightbringer, even after like the various nerfs and stuff. I'm like, yeah, he's still there. Like you gotta solve it. I'm just gonna move him 8 inches at a time at you until I win or lose. Like that's what's gonna happen.
Now there could be. Like analyzing this too, you could break it down to I could be having, last faction remorse where I'm still taking Angron or trying to figure out a way. I don't believe that's the case. I believe that I'm just trying to figure out, what it is in the meta that I'm trying to deal with and just trying to use the appropriate tools to hold it.
Yeah, I think, and I think everyone is like,
yeah.
There's a lot of experimenting. Like I don't even think Death Guard per se or like Thousand Suns is figured out, so to speak. Be like because this last data slate was a doozy. A lot of almost every army got touched, as well as Imperial Knights or Imperial Knights got their points dropped. Chaos Knights got a Codex.
Yep.
Space Wolf Codex is coming up in a week or two, and Grey Knight leaks are just starting. So, another month or so, we'll have them as well. So there's just a lot going on. The Tyranids got a new detachment. So yeah, I think everyone's trying to figure out where they're at. Like you said, what's the meta, and how to tech for it. And my personal advice is one, you're going to see more chassis. There's transports are already a thing. Knights and Chaos Knights are already a thing. They're going to be more of a thing. Death Guard, bring a bevy of vehicles because every fetid bloat drone is a vehicle keyword. So and there's normally like 4 to 6 of them in most lists that I've seen. Well, we got some good interaction. Hold on, let's not. So first of all, during the middle of your rant, our friend Anime had this to say.
Angron doesn't like to get hit by multiple deadly demises. No, he doesn't. Yeah, he actually. Everyone was exploding on me the entire weekend. Yeah.
Will Brogan, I am glad that you brought this up because this is a point that we've talked about EC on here before, where they are a finesse army, not a hammer army.
Yeah.
And yeah, high toughness. Like once you get above T10, T9 for them, you do start to hit kind of a wall. So
flawless blades are anti, right? Though
2 attacks each. They are.
Oh, are they? Are flawless blades only 2 attacks each? Wow.
Yeah, they are. They are. Their volume is not. They have a volume problem.
Yeah, that is definitely an issue.
They might be 3. I'm trying to remember if my brain auto deleted one attack. But still, even like 3 guys, even 6 guys at 3 attacks each that hit on 3s with like almost no way to get rerolls is like 12 hits, and then you're wounding on 3s, so like 9 wounds, and then they have a 5, even if a 5-up invul, and that's 6 that go through, which is still 18 damage or 3 damage each, but it doesn't feel great. From what I've seen, Will, it's a lot of tank shocks with your rhinos, the built-in tank shock your flying demon princes have, and then just grenades. and then your mass shooting and charges can usually pick up something else.
Yeah, they're 3 attacks each. Yeah, once you have 3. Yeah. The pack points. Yeah, once you have 3 pack points, it kills everything. Yeah, they have demonic patrons. Demonic patrons ability where they can just hit wound things on a 3+, scores a critical wound.
And then there's this, which anime. He told me about his list where he took a few big knights, 4 big knights, and 100 cultists, and that is somehow like the worst split of skew I've seen, because it's a horde list, and you're still staring down 4 big knights, and you're like,
yep.
What do you like? What that is a nightmare to juggle.
All pun intended, nightmare.
Exactly.
Dad jokes.
But speaking about kind of the other end of the meta, other armies are going to with all these vehicles coming back, I unironically think sisters might have a place in it now. You bring back, 3 castigators and the Vol guns, and just start looking at, 2 big knights or like 4 armigers a turn, and just tell them this. Sorry, the Emperor says you lose existing privileges, and then they do.
Yep.
Vol and her squad will still delete 2 armigers and even a big knight in a go. That's not completely unreasonable. And 3 castigators lined up into 2 armigers with the heavy bolters and guns, still usually enough to get the job done. So they can only rotate in one spot. And if it's Chaos Knights, the detachment that has rotated isn't even being run all that often. It's not super common. So Tau as well. Tau trying to reconfigure their entire thing because their army rule got changed at a base level.
Yep.
And I was actually doing some
to the meta too, right? Even though they can tech in better to the meta, like automatically by data sheet, and more easily, right? It's easier to correlate more Tau units that can deal with mechanized than it is other things, right? I mean, Space Marines could make it a little bit easy too, but Tau makes it really easy. But he was playing Iron Class Fiefdom, and I like that detachment. That's the detachment that he was using. Where there's a bunch of cultists. I like that. I like that you eat cultists and it gives you abilities. It gives you sustains or lethals. You get to choose. And then one of the models with an enhancement gets to do both, which is really nice.
It was 36 shots from his Gatling cannon. Yep.
Yeah.
For 2 18 shotguns. So if he wants to split them, he can.
Yeah. Yep.
But
I said 36 shots. What?
And it kind of back to what you were saying about, teching for Knights and Death Guard and throwing an Ingrod, and maybe there's other lists you struggle into because of it. There is a certain saying that, existed before I was even in the hobby. And it was, build for the best and just not play the rest.
Yep.
So sure, you could run into that horde of orcs round 1. And you're like, all right, not super great into this, but I guess it's just lethal hits and lethal and sustaining infantry all game. Let's go. Just chop through them. But yeah, the meta has definitely swung into a durability meta. Because Necrons still exist and they got their points went down, which is just awesome. Love that.
Yep.
I personally appreciate the Infinite Empire, but other people are uncultured. But
I like it when Necrons are good in the meta.
Yeah, no, and they're a great counter option for Knights, because Knights have to rotate into one spot for a 4-up invuln and have a 6-up Filled Pain. Necrons are like, we can afford a invuln all the time with flat 4 damage guns, and also we're going to heal multiple D3s before you hit us again.
Yeah, shout out to almost that man right there. He was actually running the event over the weekend and had a great time. Posted up a video of the event. He posted up the podium. It was a great time, man. Great people. But this event is more a camaraderie of people who've known each other for a very long time. So, which is nice, man. I get to actually play some 40K, right? Instead of running events every single weekend. And,
Anime's in the camaraderie now. He's like Fight Club. You can't leave.
Yeah. He's in. You can't tell nobody, Anime.
We're just sitting here talking about it live with the secret.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not even there. He's not even listening. Yeah. So what about the Stinky Boys? How have they been doing in the meta as
The
of late?
best.
I know they're what?
They
The
are.
best?
They are at the top. They are one of the most played factions. Which, to be fair, they were before. Death Guard's been very popular in all of 10. Even when before with their original index rules, where they didn't really have rules, it's just one of those factions people seem to love. They're doing very, very well with multiple detachments. You have, Mortarian's Hammer, which is just hull spam with just a barrage of shooting. You also have what Champions of Contagion, I believe it is, with insane Death Shroud bricks.
Yep. And Blight Lords too.
Solid 10 mana Blight Lords with the leader on them and the enhancements. They can get all kinds of buffs like crit lethal 5s, full rerolls. It gets real nasty real fast. Because it's Death Guard mostly. Their demon print, can we talk about all the Chaos demon prints? It's just all of them, from Emperor's Children to vanilla CSM.
Do it.
Some of the best data sheets in the game. Best carrier for enhancements. Lone op within 3 of infantry is just actually really. If I'm gonna preface this by saying, if the Chaos player, positions and moves correctly, it is one of the most annoying lone ops to get around. Because it's just I have lone op now, but I don't have to if you kill this unit, 2.5 inches away behind this wall that you can't see.
Yeah.
And it's oh, okay, thanks. Sure, I'll get on that, man. And then, if you do it, you got to have enough guns left to recognizably threaten the demon prince. Yeah. Otherwise, next turn, we're just going to have something else within 3 of them again. Yep. And then also, every Chaos Army has a CP engine now, which very few did before, where they all can reduce a strat by 1. And in Death Guard in particular, the Tallyman still gives you a CP on a 7-up in your command phase. So really you can reduce the strat by 1. Death Guard is about 15% too cheap. I said it when the points were released digitally, and I've been saying that it is.
Isn't everything though right now? Aren't Knights? Dude, they're talking about banning Knights. People are calling to ban Knights now.
I don't think that needs to happen. I think because the fact that Knights can still bring some stuff. First of all, as far as I'm aware, most Knight chassis across both armies hit on 3s, and very few of them, if any, have ways to ignore hit modifiers. So right. Any stealth in your art, Knights is basically guard or Tau. You have stealth, they are devastated.
Yep.
And
you pop those vehicles and they're hitting on 4s now. Yep.
They're tough, but both Armigers and Knights degrade in OC. So they're my out to beating Knights isn't I'm going to table you. It's I'm going to kill your most threatening ones for my path to victory, and I'm just going to throw 20 gargoyles at you for 2 turns. You'll get 5. You'll get 5 primary. I'll get 5. You'll get 5. I'll get 5. You'll get 5. I'll get 10. You'll get 5. I'll get 15. You'll get 15. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I hope I did better secondaries than the Knight player did. Fingers crossed. No offense to you, Knight players. Some of you are very good at your secondaries, but you are not Tyranids good. So yeah, I don't think it's ban worthy, although they are both. I don't know if Chaos Knights are too cheap, I'd say. I think Chaos Knights are probably fine, maybe some points here or there. Imperial Knights are way too cheap. Imperial Knights are way too cheap. You should not be able to take 12 Armigers and a full Canis.
They did not take the 2 factions and adjust them in a vacuum. They said chassis should be reduced regardless of Chaos or Imperial flavor, and they reduced the prices.
Well, before when they were both indexes, their prices being relatively the same made sense to me anyway, because you had the Imperial Knights who had the Feel No Pain, or you had the Chaos Knights who the hit on 2s for their what they're meant to do. If it was a melee war dog, hit on 2s and melee 3s and shooting, and if it's a shooting war dog, it's reversed. So it made sense. All right, one's more offensive, one's a little more defensive.
Yeah.
Now they're both mostly the same, except Knights still have the Feel No Pain, so it's they should not be Chaos Knight pricing.
Yep. Yeah, I think you're close. I don't think there needs to be a lot of adjustments for Chaos Knights, like you're saying. I don't think no adjustments shouldn't be made, but I think a minimal amount of adjustments for points. But Imperial Knights, just like you said, they need to be adjusted big time. Canis is just better. Way better.
Canis, is because in Chaos Knights you can run 14 War Dogs. An Imperial Knight in the Warhound detachment. In Imperial Knights you can run 12 in Canis, and I can tell you, I don't care what 2 armigers you pick, they're not as good as Canis's. so you can put any combination together, even though an enhancement on, because Canis comes with like 3 enhancements. He has the always crit on 5s. He has the free reroll whenever he or reduces strat to 1 or to 0 or by 1. I mean, and he has when he dies. Oops, he's not really dead. You still have to kill Sir Hector.
Yep.
So sure. Oh, I can't answer this. Because GW thinks they are.
Accurate statement.
It'd be like if every single Primarch was just like priced like old Magnus.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if old Mortarion was priced where Magnus was? Let's ignore that he was for a few months and just say pretend. So yeah, but there's some growing pains. I mean, to give GW some amount of credit, they made a lot of not aggressive, but like far-reaching changes to the game with this last change. As I going back to Tau, like Tau just have they're priced like they had to use their old mechanic for sacrificial units to get guiding, except now they don't have to do that. So now they got to figure out, well, where are my points going now? Is it more broadsides and hammerheads? Is it some more suits? Is it more crew? Is it more Fish of Fury? They got to test and figure that out. And
yeah, but that sounds like good problems for Tau, because now they actually get an opportunity to get back into the meta. People start list building again, so it's a fun time for Tau now.
It is, and it's. I think I keep saying Tau, but every Tyranids, for example, we got the Burrowers, which I've been experimenting with, but also we got 2 new Ravener sheets.
Yep.
So we and lest everyone forget, Raveners are Vanguard Invader. So any trick here, anyone talking about Raveners in the Burrowers detachment, everything except coming in 6 inches away can be done in Vanguard and even Invasion Fleet. They're really good at Invasion Fleet as well. So there's a lot of even Assimilation Swarm, funnily enough, because we grow 1 or 2 of them back after they die. A lot of armies have some good Necrons. Canoptic Court is kind of being slowly nudged by GW to remind everyone it exists. Again, it's my favorite attachment, and I would love to see 2 Wraith Breaks, 3 Doomsday Arcs, Silent King, and a Void Dragon. Oh my god, this is the meta the Void Dragons dreamed of. I just thought of that. I was like, oh yeah, Silent King and 3 DDAs, blam, and I'm like, Void Dragon is just gonna rip through a Knight army. I haven't done the math, but I cannot imagine even a Lancer charging the Void Dragon is gonna have a good time.
Yep.
So, yeah,
that's why Void Dragons, they're not being used right now.
Oh, they will be.
They will be.
With that point change Necron's got, that might just get sunk into changing from Silent King or a couple of not Doomsday Arcs, but the Doomstalkers to just here's my Void Dragon. I wound your vehicles on 2s and I heal when I kill you. Also, I still go 5 up Fatal Pain, 4 up Invuln, and take half damage.
Do you think that waves in the audience at a sports event that people get together and try to adjust all of their lists unanimously to try to adjust to the meta? Or do you think it is just some people who end up doing that?
I think that people who are how do I word this politically?
I know where you go with this.
I think the people who intend to succeed at competitive events do get together and crowdsource changes. And I think that people who this is just more of a hobby and they want to put their fun looking minis on the table kind of just do what they want regardless of the environment around them. And
they won't adjust. They're just going to leave their same army list.
I think they might be tempted to like a Tau player. How can they not experiment?
Yeah.
They don't. GW is forcing them to.
Yeah.
But like the stairs, if a Citra player wants to play Bringers of Flame, they don't care how good you make the Blessing attachment. They're like, nope, I'm going to go burn the Heretic, and you can't stop me. So, but yeah, I think that people who are looking at going to, especially like in team environments, people who are part of clubs or on teams or have like a group of guys they go with, are definitely going to be like, hey, Chuck, those Chaos Knights you haven't played in like 3 months because you were tired of running War Dogs. You got any big guys?
You know how strong they are right now in team events? It's crazy, dude. Like, just the statistics for the teams who are bringing Chaos Knights and Knights, it's just crazy.
I told a mutual buddy of ours, he plays Corn Demons and branching off into World Eaters, and I told him, I'm like, buddy, just be on my team and I will just throw you at a Knight player. He's like, why? I'm like, because like 1 or 2 of the Knights have an invuln in melee. He's like, really?
Exactly.
I'm like, yeah, just go get him, buddy.
Go get him.
Ask him, be like, do you have CP to interrupt? No. Great. Wham.
Getting hit by Scarbrand, a Bloodthirster, and Redmaster, yeah.
No. You think not? Scarbrand and a Bloodthirster with full rerolls for D3 damage. And then you know what the Redmaster goes on? The Bloodletters being led by Skulltaker, who gives his unit dev wounds, and he has dev wound or reroll wounds against characters. So there's just a bunch of 3 damage Bloodletters going into a Knight because every big Knight's a character.
Going ham into a Stompy boy.
You have to be. Once he was super rude. He's like, I don't have any
out of that paint.
He got his Bloodletters to damage 4, and I'm like, it's a Broodlord, my guy. You don't need to, like, this is just disrespect.
Yeah, man. It's like, you don't need to show off, man. It's okay. I get it. You can do +3 strength in damage. I get it.
But, yeah, and that's, to our thing, there are counters to this. There are natural predators in the meta. Like, if someone's running, he plays Blood Legion, but if someone plays Shadow Legion, and oops, it's a Bellacore and a Bloodthirster that comes in, runs at a Knight, domes it, and it goes back in reserves, what are you going to do?
That sounds like a
Overwatch. It's not the
Titanic can't Overwatch, so
like he's like, I'm just gonna rapid ingress like right here and like just fly around the wall and hit you.
Yep.
Oh look, I can advance and charge, so I'm just moving like 15 on average or for whatever it is. So like I think Knights have also a very good friend of ours. He was on last week, Elfie. He's changed his list. He already runs the Avatar, which is great anti-Knight tech. Just 1 CP, flat 8 damage on the Avatar is great. But
keep on throwing around this F word as if everyone is my F. Listen, you're giving me too many friends.
Sorry.
I apologize. I gotta tease them.
But yeah, he's he said on that he's changing. He's adding 5 more Fire Dragons in because 15 Dark Reapers and 10 Fire Dragons. Oh, and Fugan too.
And Fugan, yes.
And I will tell you, any of you who play Elves, if you have a problem with Knights, just put 15 Fire Dragon 3x5 and Fugan down. I promise you will not have a Knight problem. I've played big Monster Mash into that, and as durable as Tyranids can be made to be, they're not. Drukhari, they're having kind of an upswing, not like in the top upper echelons, but they're consistently doing well given what they have to work with.
Scary, hey, what is Company of Hunters? Is that Tyranids? What is that? What detachment is that? Company of Hunters.
That sounds like it sounds like a Space Wolf thing.
Nah. Company of Hunters. But anyways, Company of Hunters has 100% win rate over the weekend.
Well, now I'm gonna look it up because I don't even I've never even heard. I don't. What?
I mean, I look at it and it just sounds like bugs to me. Dark Angel.
Yeah, it's the Dark. Okay.
Dark Angels, Company of Heroes. Hunters, rather. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Angels. 2 players over the weekend, too.
They might have found the sauce.
Yeah, Warp Meld Pact. Hold up, so we can show everybody real quick too. Yeah, internet says DA is correct. Anime.
Oh, hold on. It's okay. Yeah, this is the one that I tried to make the fast archangels, all their mounted their Ravenwing units, basically.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Well, they did what is it? The Lion got a change. You know, I don't play Marines or just not Dark Angels, but I did hear that while changes were interesting, they really didn't make them competitive. But who knows? Maybe some people found that spicy tech.
Yeah. Have you noticed that Knights have been winning for 6 months under the radar?
Yes. No, it's not been under the radar. It has been heavily talked about. I've mentioned it a couple times where like Imperial Knights have been at a consistent like growth from like 48% to 51, 52, 54. I think they were at 56 before this. They got their points changes.
Yeah.
Like they've been going up.
Man, GW's gonna make those sales, bro. They gotta sell those kits.
You know, I firmly believe if they retire the Atropos and the Lancer, like move them to Legends, the win rate would probably plummet to like 46% for both.
Yeah. That would be dumb to do something like that. That would be dumb. Yeah.
Considering the Lancer just won the plastic, yeah.
Yeah. Especially that. I mean, it doesn't make business sense, right?
Exactly.
Doesn't make business sense. But go ahead, brother.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead. Should we wait after the commercial? Is it one of those questions?
You know what? Let's make the drama, the suspense.
Okay, I love it. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back. Now with a word from our sponsor, Baron of Dice. Baron of Dice is your one-stop shop for premium wargaming dice. Our dice are made with premium resin materials and colored dyes. Each die is hand-mixed to the desired result and then carefully swirled with 2, 3, or 4 colors in a silicone mold before being laser engraved with a wicked symbol and finished in a matte or gloss polish. There are no imperfections in our dice, no balancing issues, no micro bubbles or mold lines. This is the difference between. You can, quite literally, feel and hear a difference with our dice. Whatever game you play, whatever style your team or faction rocks, we're sure to have something to elevate your game. With over 500 styles and over 4,000 customer reviews, welcome to the best dice on the planet. Now back to our show.
All right.
That was just me. Did you see all that smoke in that commercial? That was just me vaping in the commercial. That was just me.
He just hired you as his effects guy. Like, yeah, I got a smoke machine. You just walked in, pen in hand.
Exactly. Thank you to everyone who watched that video, man. 1 minute. Make sure to go check out our sponsors, please. This is how we get to feed Reigel and keep him with that shiny ball head. All right. Thank you very much to Almost Functional for donating $2. I think that will buy a handful of shaving cream.
One of those little travel packs from like a hotel bathroom.
Yes, enough for you to just start half of your head shaving.
Right. Well, yeah. Next week's head shave week, so you know we really need it.
Speaking of Baron of Dice, real quick, make sure to come join us at Crucible. We're gonna have a ton of swag. Over 3,000 dice. We're gonna be giving away swag. Booklets, prizes, money, all kinds of stuff, man. Hopefully I see everyone at Crucible this year, September 19th to the 21st. It's going to be in Orlando, Florida. It is the largest 40K event throughout the year in the state of Florida. So come and join us. Have a great time. Take a picture with Reigel. Shine his head up with a little bit of, baby oil. No Diddy.
Like one of those lucky cats over in Japan, rub it before your match.
Exactly. Get you ready. They're just massaging your head right before you
play and like have people just walking by me, just like doing.
Oh man, go ahead, brother. My bad. I know I cut you off, but we had to pay the bill.
Something I'm excited about is I just realized this Saturday is 10 weeks from Crucible. That's how fast it's coming up.
Dude, I'm excited. I gotta make some adjustments to the player packet, but the player packet's out. All the information is out. So
I gotta get my room. I gotta finalize my room thing. There was some complications that came up, but I'm getting it, and man, they have an entire hot tub pool. That is just like my after 40K plans.
Yep.
Dinner with a girlfriend, 40K pool. Maybe some like 11 a.m. ice cream in the rain again. Because you got to keep tradition.
And some scalp massaging.
Yeah, well, depends on how stressful the games are. If I get Purge the Foe Sisters on layout round one again, I'm finding you on the floor.
The missions are actually already out, I believe.
No, I said if I get.
But yeah, we wrestling, buddy.
We'll celebrate the heat.
In Florida, heat for 30 seconds, and that's about it.
No, the question I want to ask you though, speaking of Chiefs, is how do you think orcs are going to fare into all this stuff? You think? All right, the look on your face when you looked up. Please say your thoughts.
Because I'm like, there's only one detachment answer to this question, and it's Warhorde. So orcs end up playing the antithesis of what the meta is right now, which I think is a good thing. Like bringing it in a teams match and having to deal with Horde, and you kind of teched in your armies for everything else but Horde is going to be a little bit of a challenge for people. With their points increases, what is it now? I mean, I can't even keep track anymore. What is it, like the third detachment they've dumpstered already? So with that being said, like Warhorde is still functionally the best, but it's still challenging to get the units that you need in there to deal with certain things, like tank buses being an outrageous amount of points for 2 wound models with t-shirts for saves, right? So I think the people who are playing Horde and do it well are gonna, to answer your question, are gonna ride under the radar and do really well. But I think the days of people running orcs constantly, people having a good time with orcs in the current singles meta is not gonna be a lot.
You don't think Bully Boy is gonna make a comeback with their strength 12 on the Wattern tech?
I don't think it's enough to warrant people wanting to run them with their points cost just to deal with the meta.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm personally scared. I look at Bully Boys like a kind of like cousin of Captain Court, where it's like not quite as durable on its face, but it's 2 WAs with invuln and Infernal Pain, and it's just like I don't want to deal with that. So, but no. Forgot that. Also, you don't think what is it? 18 helicopters shooting at you with like lethal 5s is gonna be doing much work?
I mean, the new Speed Freaks detachment, what it ends up being is you end up turning into a parking lot. Your army ends up turning yourself into a parking lot, so you have to make sure you're positioning, moving properly with that army. You can't make any mistakes. It's not going to be forgiving whatsoever. It's not going to be like playing Necrons, because if you move a buggy out of place, if you move your buggy in the wrong section and you can't move other units through it, like you're just going to create so many issues for yourself. I think it's a great idea to have advance in charge, fall back in charge, and all those abilities that Orcs detachment has. But I don't think it's strong enough to deal with everything in the meta. I think that it's more of a parking lot. I think you end up having that Knights, old 9th edition Knights. I can't move through these 12-inch blocks. Remember old GW layouts where we used to have these 12-inch blocks?
The 3-story long L ruins, yep.
Yep, and there was 4 of them on every single table, right? There were 12 by 12. that would cover so much of the table that Knights literally couldn't interact with the terrain in the game. So it's that type of effect. It's that type of effect with buggies. You're not going to see buggies a lot in WTC type of deployments, right? And they're like, they just can't maneuver well enough. You're going to end up putting yourself in a position where you're going to tunnel yourself, right? You're going to try to go through one section by multiple units, and you're going to impede yourself from going through it. So on that soliloquy, I think that on face value, they're good. The detachment is good. I think Bully Boys is amazing. I don't know about Bully Boys. I think Bully Boys can do great in this meta. I just think they're overpriced to do what they need to do in this meta. Especially when it comes to Orcs. Orcs should never be an expensive army for an army that wears t-shirts, right? It's almost like Imperial Guard. Like Imperial Guard is a relatively decently priced army when it comes to their infantry. I think they're a little bit overpriced in certain sections, but Orcs can never be overpriced. Then you can just never take whatever you need. Not enough. What happened?
No, I'm trying to find Imperial Guard. See how there they are. They're at 42% right now, and actually with Recon Element and Mechanized Assault actually being the two that are the highest with 50% win rates each.
Wow.
Yeah, just kind of looking at the numbers. Space Wolves are actually at the bottom. I mean, Imperial Agents are at the bottom with 7%, but we don't. They're not real. They're there for allies. Yeah. Space Wolves actually at a 37% win rate, with Stormlance being the highest at a 50% win rate.
Yep.
But this is old Space Wolves. This isn't new Codex Space Wolves yet?
No.
Yeah.
Nope. I mean, some places are allowing that stuff, but I mean, no, they're not street legal yet.
So actually, going back up, Genestealer Cult are actually doing pretty good right now with a 54% win rate, and actually Outlander Claw had a 60% win rate over this last weekend.
Smaller pool of people too. So those are the specialists that we talk about. Those are the pools of specialists that we talk about that are great at their factions, right? It's the Brian Doughertys, the what's his name? Fraser Perry for World. These are all World Leader players, right? It's the Jack Harpsters, is the Anthony Vanillas, right? It's those.
I've always said that the scariest 40K player I'm afraid of going into is someone who unironically is bringing a GSC or an AdMac army, because I'm like, they are going to ruin me, and I'm never going to know what hit me.
Especially when they're specialists at it, right?
Yeah, no, I've started slowly collecting GSC and playing Final Day a little bit. And I'm just like, it is a certain play style for sure. I played Necrons, Demons, Tyranids, and looked into a couple other armies, and GSC is not like any of, even if running, 600 points of Tyranids, it's still just so different. Yep. But I'm glad to see they're doing good, because they're normally they're at the bottom or overpowered, and right now they're kind of sitting near the top, but well within that accepted band.
But you have people like, oh my gosh, there's a specialist. What's his name? He comes to Crucible every single year too. Robin Roberts. He's a GSC specialist. Matter of fact, he was on stream twice at Crucible last year. Robin Roberts.
I met him. He's a very nice guy.
He is, yeah. Hawaiian usually has like a Hawaiian T-shirt or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, super
I'm
nice.
Pretty sure he invited me to a GT. He does. He's the one that's up in Georgia, right?
Further than that, somewhere.
Oh. Anyway, not important. Next fun bit of data: Sisters and Custodians are both at 50% win rate, which is, for some reason, super funny to me because anime plays both those armies. So the fact they're both.
Which detachment for Sisters though?
Champions of Faith.
Oh, Champions. Okay.
Yeah, the one that they don't got to use their miracle die to give them the buffs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Which I I'm still stuck on Sacrosanct not being nearly as bad as the Sisters community seems to think, which really just comes off as extremely arrogant because I don't play the army, and I'm telling the people who do play it, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think this can be bad. I'm like, T3 1 wound. I'm like, yeah, but like, you gotta actually kill them all, otherwise you're gonna get like D3 back. Who cares? But I mean, killing them's not that hard. They're like, ooh, it's a grenade and a tank shock, and I'm just like, yeah, that's a demon prince too. What's your point? Like that's how people killed the Avatar before, was a grenade and a tank shock.
Shock, yeah, exactly.
And then for Custodians, it's actually Solar Spearhead, which I'm kind of surprised to see.
Both of those, yeah.
It's Solar Spearhead at 56, and then even Lions of the Emperor at 51% win rate. Oh, sorry. Back to Sisters real quick. Bringers of Flame is at 53%, and Champions is at 54%. So they're kind of fighting it out for which one of the two is better.
Hand in hand, yeah.
I keep telling Anime, I'm like, look, if you start out any list with Morven in her Warsuit squad and 3 Castigators, you cannot convince me it's bad. Like, that is an insane baseline for a list to run.
That was insane how many people over the weekend were playing Death Guard. 101 people, dude.
Yeah. Like I said, they are a very popular army, and they're good. You mix those two together. It's like, do you remember back in, I don't know, what would it have been, 2018, 2019, when Space Marine Apocalypse happened in 8th edition?
Yeah. Yeah.
How they were just like 200 Space Marine players, like a 400 person event.
Crazy. Yep. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this attachment. Corn Demonkin is highest right now. Win percentage 51%.
Yeah. No, it's I was talking about. My buddy. Apparently, since you don't have any friends, it's a heck of a drug to say. You know what? Here's Scarbrand. Here's another Bloodthirster. Here's a third one with no blood. But he's getting the Red Masters and flip 3 of your knights for free.
Yep.
Like even with 2 Red Masters, you can do the sweeps and still kill a big knight on average. It's disgusting.
Just take Scarbrand, and Scarbrand is so much cheaper than Angron too to deal with the meta, right? 80 points cheaper.
And you know what's funny?
But you gotta own Scarbrand.
Yeah, no, that is a challenge. But in that list, if you take that and then take Be'lakor and just be like, you can't shoot me outside of 18, Knights player. Screw your Melta guns. Also, Scarbrand moves 10 in advance and charges. You sure you want to get with an 18?
Exactly.
Let me just slide you this 1 CP, go through a wall real quick. like it's just bad news bears all around.
Yep.
And and back to World Eaters, you're talking, and to be clear, he's talking about Berserker Warband, but nothing's stopping you from taking Scarbrand and Angron in World Eaters. Like, you can do it. At that point, you go to a teams event, you take both of them, a Demon Prince, your Lord on Juggernaut, and your 6 other guys, and you just look at your captain and say, put me into the armor player, the Knight, the Chaos Knight. I'll take care of them. You guys take care of the other 4.
Yep. Oh, Chaos Knights are doing well right now? I got this.
Exactly. You put Angron, like, oh, using him as Scarbrand? No, I got Scarbrand right here too, and then watch their face just drop. They're like, oh.
All of the daddies came to play. And this is daddy, and this is stepdaddy.
One hates their dad, the other one dad hates him. So they got not even that though. Like World Eaters are actually Forge Fiends are strength 10.
Yeah.
Armigers are T9.
Which helps with that. Yeah, absolutely. But the big boys are punching up.
No, if it's Scarbrand or Angron, they're punching down.
Yeah. If it's if it's them, they're punching down for sure.
In Blood Legion, it's even better because you throw Scarbrand in, like, oh, I'm going to go in and kill your Lancer. Okay, great. Or your Abominant or whatever. And they're like, oh, I'm going to charge my second Lancer or Canis at you now. And you're like, okay, beginning of the fight phase, 1 CP fight on death. Oh no, I hope I don't die and get checks notes 9 flat 6 damage attacks hitting on 2s into you. That'd be awful.
That'd be terrible. Sheesh.
And at that point, you're trading up. You just like killed 800 points for your 300, and you're like, cool, sayonara.
Alarm.
So yeah, I think I'm not surprised to hear Corn Demons are doing really good in a meta where it's a bunch of hulls. Like even Emperor's Children uses a 2 to 3 rhinos. As we said, Death Guard have their own rhinos, Blight Drones, Mortarion, and Mini Mortarion, the Demon Prince. So like, yeah, these options. I think World Eaters are in a good, not great place. They, as I'm sure you'll be fast to point out, you do have a bit of a stuff problem, as most Chaos armies do, other than Death Guard at the moment.
No, I actually think they're in a great place because we're riding under the radar of the Death Guard, Thousand Suns, Chaos, right? We're riding under all of them, and I'm hoping that we get passed on when the nerf comes in.
Yeah, but I mean about like right now, list building. If you take Angron, Scarbrand, a Demon Prince, the Juggernaut, and the what are the guys called? The demon things he joins, Blood Crushers.
No, Blood Crushers, yeah.
You have like what 500 points left, maybe after enhancements, maybe 6 if you're lucky.
Yeah,
that's like, and even in like your warband list, it's you unlike other armies and even Chaos armies like Emperor's Children or Death Guard can't really afford to like trade 1-for-1s.
No, that's like World Eaters too. They can't afford. Yeah, they can't afford that.
So. But then again, I think 40K is in a mostly healthy place. I am hoping once the Knight Codex comes out, like a week or 2 after that, we'll get more realistic points for them. I hope that Death Guard get addressed. Like I don't think a casual 200 points off their list is even aggressive. Because if you guys haven't seen a Death Guard list, just kind of go look it up at what various events like are in top 8's not even winning. They have a lot of stuff. And it's a lot of stuff that is disadvantageous to try to remove. It's not as hard as it used to be, but it's you don't ever feel good about it. Not really.
No. And you know what doesn't make you feel good either is that knowingly they do this to make money, right? Sell these chassis, sell these kits, these Knight kits. And then people collect into these armies and then it gets nerfed. And it always gets me to a place where I'm just like, I'm cringing, waiting for all this to just disappear, right? Instead of adjustments being appropriate adjustments being made, instead of just dumpstering detachments, right? So hopefully they don't nerf an entire army, 2 armies.
I agree. My advice to everyone with this knowledge, because you should know they are a company trying to make money. Let no one lie to you about that.
Yep.
Play what you like. Like stuff's gonna be bad. I play bad Tyranids when they're bad because I love Tyranids. I don't play them because they're good or strong, whatever. Yep. I like my bugs. Like for a longest time, people had told you Invasion Fleet or Assimilation Swarm was the strongest, and I'm still rocking Vanguard like a 70% win rate personally. It's not bad to have multiple armies if you enjoy them. Have a hobby army like I have Slanesh Demons. I play them for fun. Haven't touched them in a while because they got the Banhammer treatment.
Yeah.
Instead of just addressing the slight things that were problems, they just said no, we don't want that to exist at all. But
which sucks for us, but great as a company, right? Because now, hey, I gotta find a new army to play. Hey, GSC. Right?
Look, I'm this week I get paid and I am dropping an amount of money that's more than I probably should on getting Harridan because I want I've wanted the Tyranid Dragon since I first started playing and I finally had the opportunity to get one. And I'm fully counting on it getting its interaction with the Burrower detachment, Subterranean Assault, getting nerfed or just banned because it is like Legends. It is insane. I'm not gonna go over all the math for everyone here, but the short version is by itself it kills 2 Armigers with like 100% of the time if you don't spike 5-ups.
crazy. Yep.
And if you rotate a 4-up on an armager, congratulations. You got 3 to 6 wounds left with the rest of my army ready to charge you from 6 inches. Good job, man. like you did it. You proved my math wrong.
Yep. Everything in your face. Yep.
And so like, and I've been hesitant to get one because it's just not been intuitive to use. Not like it's only good for like apocalypse games, which I never play. So yeah, I got a real chance to run it. And if the rules don't change, I got a team event in August, Crucible, and a team event in November. I'm going to be taking them to. So
yep.
And if I lose, you know what? I lose running a model I like, playing how I want to play.
And how you want to do it. That's right.
And if Subterranean Assault gets nerfed because everyone bought all the snakes that GW had in backlog, oh no, 30 Gene Stealers and 3 Exocrines in Vanguard.
I guess you'll be getting a lot of snakes on the discount.
I already did. I invested when they were still fairly cheap. And even though some of them are the old sculpts, they're still the same size. I can put them on the same base.
Yeah.
I also, on top of the Harridan, I have 15 Raveners coming in too to build. I got lots of hobbying to do. My least favorite part of the hobby.
Yeah, the hobby, painting, all that stuff.
I'm gonna see if I can rope my girlfriend into airbrushing them for me. She loves being
make it a holiday.
She loves being helpful. I'll be like, hey babe, want to do a couples activity? Or watch this later and call me and say some very colorful terminology at me. But no, I've enjoyed hanging out, talking about it. Everyone, you're gonna see knights, and keep in mind you're gonna see space wolves who can still run wolf jail to a certain extent and have dreadnoughts like Bjorn.
Yep. And
you're gonna see gray knights who have the baby carriers, and those might come out T10.
They're coming out soon. Did you see that? The leaks for them, so they're dropping next.
Yeah, after the space wolves, we're going to start get the hardcore lead build up for them. So.
Yep.
And then after them, you have Imperial Knights coming.
Yep.
So it's going to be a lot more mech, a lot more monster heavy. Harlequin Haywire, where you at? This is your time to shine.
It is, isn't it? They need to drop in point big time.
Look,
Haywire, we're shining right now.
Just don't roll below a 4-up, and then don't even get an armor save. You're fine.
It's probably the time right now. I think you could only run 4A12 now. It used to be 18 back in the days. So
they got mad at bike spam.
They got mad at bike spam. Yeah, same thing they did with orc buggies, right?
They don't know what they want to do with the mounted keyword. That's what I've learned. Like they got rid of demon chariots, then brought the chariots back. They've Custodes bikes were bad. They're trying to make them good. I don't think they know what to do. What they want to do with the mounted keyword. Because
I don't know.
This is weird in the middle space.
For no reason they have that, and nothing that benefits from doing things to it. So it's just weird.
Yep.
It's a weird game space, right? So, but no, you're right, man. Space Wolves been doing well for a very long time. I think they're going to continue to do well, especially if the new codex comes out, right? And then you can still do very well in all the Space Ring detachments, so the Storm Lances and the Gladius. So I think their number is going to continue to do well. But other than that, man, yeah. I think we've covered everything for the show. The big Stompy boys and the Stinky boys, right?
Everything in between.
Yeah. Everything that's kind of crazy in the meta right now. So what else you got for us, brother? Anything before we head out?
No, sir. That was my final piece. Just let everyone know, play what you like, and just be aware. Keep an ear to the ground on what's coming soon.
100%. Play what you like, enjoy it, and hopefully we see you next time. And don't forget, Onslaught Gaming 40K, where victory is just a strategy away. Have a great night, great day whenever you're watching this, everyone.